Welcome back to your favorite channel, YOLENO TV, and our big point for this session is where did the rain begin to beat William Samoei Ruto? And in this segment, I ask myself questions that do not need answers, questions that don't need immediate answers, and so I choose to dissect the political archives to get you the hidden answers. And dear viewers, for today's big point, I think it's high time that we called spade a spade. We can no longer call spade a big spoon because that's not the scenario that we're experiencing. We cannot continue to insinuate that William Samoei Ruto will become the president of the Republic of Kenya because the dice has been cast. And you can take my word to the bank. Ruto will not become the president, especially after yesterday's baseless, irresponsible remarks against the president. And by channeling those baseless remarks to the president, he was directly targeting the deep state. And mind you, the deep state controls the machinery that you need to ascend to power. So Ruto made a terrible blunder when he directly channeled his guns against President Uhuru MUIGAI KENYATTA. So, the genesis of the silent war between the President Uhuru KENYATTA, and his deputy William Samoei Ruto is attributed by the latter's corrupt dealings and reckless, and perhaps some of his too much demands. Tuju had an interview. You must have seen the interview or heard about the interview. And Tuju made some remarks, made some comments which were directly targeted at the deputy president, that is William Samoei Ruto. And Tuju was short of saying that William Samoei Ruto does not need the support of Mount Kenya because he got this. He was paid for that for the support of Rift Valley, and that if he wants the support of Mount Kenya, then there is payback time. Then he also has to involve financial aspects in this support that he so dire needs. So, Tuju ensured a last nail on Ruto's coffin when he exposed Ruto badly that he was paid in billions to ensure Raila does not become the president and instead Uhuru ascends to power. So perhaps by now I can comfortably say that numerous statistical analysis show that Ruto will not become the president. You saw Tifa polls, what they released yesterday. Tifa polls have stated that there had been increase in Raila Amollo Odinga's ratings to 46.7 if I'm not wrong. Well, Ruto's ratings also rose to 44.4 probably. So Ruto earned an extra 6%, was the biggest earner, while Raila earned, I think, a margin of 2 point or 3 point%. So Raila got half of what Ruto got in the latest increment. But mind you, in the previous ratings, there were around 10% voters who were undecided. But now we are seeing that they are about 5%, and Wajakoya's ratings has decreased. So Wajakoya's ratings might have gone to Ruto, while Raila might have scooped some from the undecided votes of 3%, and so in the remaining 5%, Raila only needs 3 points to beat the 50.1 because 46.7, you're like 3.3% away from the 50% mark. So if Raila gets 3.31%, then he is automatically going to become the president of the Republic of Kenya. So our question for this session was, where did the rain begin to beat Ruto? I think I agree with Richard Atwood on his podcast on Hold Your Fire when he introduced a topic on rollercoaster politics ahead of Kenya's August elections. And Richard Atwood talked about Kenyan presidential race have been turned upside down. What it means is that, when in 2013, when Ruto supported Uhuru, it was automatical that Uhuru would support his deputy, and the deputy is William Samoei Ruto. But you're also aware of the history of their fallout. So Uhuru has gone to the opposition leader, and then decided not to support the automatic presidential candidate who was supposed to be a Jubilee candidate, who is William Samoei Ruto. So that's why Richard Atwood said in his program that the rollercoaster politics ahead of Kenya's election, as he was referring to the presidential race, have been turned upside down. I think perhaps that leads us to the final round of Uhuru's game plan. As he approaches the finishing line to hand over the presidency to Raila Amollo Odinga. So first, in the game plan, first, Rigathi Gachagua gets accused, and the accusations are confirmed, and is found guilty of embezzling public funds. Because when the anti-corruption found out that there were no supportive documents to support that tender was actually awarded to Rigathi Gachagua, the question that that needed some answers was, then how did Rigathi Gachagua acquire the money? So there was the immediate answer was that this money was gotten from fraudulent deeds. So the court decided that Rigathi Gachagua should, and is required by law, to hand over that money to the state. But again, that money had been seized. 200 million had been frozen. Let me use that word, frozen, by the court. So Rigathi Gachagua could not access that money. So that is the first blow to William Samoei Ruto's team. Because Rigathi Gachagua is the second in command. If such allegations can be confirmed, then the team is in limbo. So the second is Uhuru exposes Ruto as someone who is too selfish and full of hunger. That is when he toured Nakuru County. You remember in our previous analysis when you talked about the game plan of Uhuru KENYATTA, when you talked about Ruto making a blunder. Uhuru did not beat about the bush. He campaigned for Raila Amollo Odinga, and again decampaigned William Samoei Ruto. So William Samoei Ruto was severely attacked by the president during that meeting, whereby Uhuru thereby talked to the locals and told them that there is some mzee who's been doing the rounds here. That mzee, you need to support him. The only mzee that we know around who's been doing the rounds there is Raila Amollo Odinga. Of course, Wajakoya is also a mzee. Of course, the other candidate who is rated at 1% is also a candidate. But Uhuru was merely referring to Raila Amollo Odinga. So that is the second game plan. So that game plan was when Tuju exposed Ruto as having been paid close to 5 billion to support Uhuru. This is having a negative implication on Ruto's political future, Ruto's presidential future. The gamer communities begin to ask themselves, so this guy or this man did not support us unconditionally. So there were conditions. There were conditions that you pay me, conditions that you give me some government slots so that I can appoint my people. Perhaps this explains the reason why William Samoei Ruto only appointed Kalenjin, Nandi, CSS, while Uhuru distributed their other slots across Kenya. So that posed another question, whether William Samoei Ruto is truly a nationalistic leader, or someone who is just hell-bent on making sure that he uplifts the only community that he comes from. So the fourth scenario in this game plan is Uhuru rallied all independent candidates in the Rift Valley, especially regions perceived to be strongholds for Ruto. You see, that move has overly irritated William Samoei Ruto, and that explains why Ruto was on a self-character damaging spree. So I think Uhuru could be indirectly telling Ruto that I cannot support you for free. Perhaps that confirms Atwoli's allegations. You remember Twoli previously said that William Samoei Ruto will not become the president of the Republic of Kenya. So when Wetangula joined, when Mudavadi joined, the likes of Kingi, the likes of Alfred Mutua joined, they must have been paid. Because if Tuju says that Ruto did not support Uhuru unconditionally, so that means there were conditions. The condition was to pay me. So perhaps Mudavadi, Wetangula were paid to support William Samoei Ruto. They were paid to basically kill their political future. So that they can support Chief Hasla. So Ruto, on a bare knuckle approach, attacked the president head on and exhibited a lot of anger. So the question is, why was Ruto so angry? So to the extent that he had to make statements. This is what Ruto said: "I want to ask the president, please don't be a source of threats. Stop intimidating my people. Your work is to make sure that there is peace in the country. Stop telling us that we will know you are the president. Stop terrorizing us. We cannot be threatened." Ruto said so. Then again he said, "Raila is the one who fought to destabilize your government. Stop attacking me, my friend. You just focus on you in pushing your candidate Raila. Why are you talking about me? Please stop talking about me. Talk about your candidate. If you don't want to talk, if you don't want to support me, leave me alone." Those are not my words, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the words of Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate. Perhaps that leaves us with a question that we beg, that is there any other person who is still doubting whether William Samoei Ruto will not become the president of the Republic of Kenya after the previous engagements? Ruto is so angry that you can see it in his eyes. You can see it in the words, the statements. Could this be attributed to the exposed Venezuelans, the Smartmatic international staffs? Because remember, they exposed this exposed staff that day that the expose was released. Ruto was not happy at all. Chebukati was not happy also. But Azimio were happy because of the exposed deeds. So what does that explain? Does this explain that Azimio will rig, or Kenya Kwanza will rig? So if Kenya Kwanza will rig, then I think there are all indications that might happen. But Azimio will rig? How is that going to be possible, considering the fact that they are the first people to celebrate the exposed staff of alleged Smartmatic International? So, dear ladies and gentlemen, allow me to come to wind up there. And if you're a first-time viewer, please take a moment and subscribe to our channel. You're a regular visitor, but you've not subscribed, also you can subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. You can hit the notification bell so that every time we receive, we have a video, you become the first person to be notified. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, please stay safe.